All right. I wanted to do a little review here of this chess game. I don't know this person. This person just randomly challenged me, and it was a cool game. I honestly think this individual, you know, for the level that they're at, played fairly well. Did some things that I thought, hey, that's pretty good. Maybe it was on accident. I don't know, but they were pretty good moves. This is definitely somebody I think who's got the instinct to learn chess, and I would definitely encourage him to keep going. Now, I don't know if they just saw, hey, he's a level 400 because I was level 400 and went, hey, that's just, somebody I can just learn, from, maybe play a game and play someone at my level. There is a bit of deception on my chess.com rating. I'm probably not in the 400 level. I'm probably a little bit higher than that. I just don't play online chess very much. I mostly just play in person, play with some friends, whatever. That's usually what I play. When I play online, I'm usually playing against bots, and I'm usually playing the bots at the levels of like 1200, intermediate and stuff like that. I'm trying to work my way up to 1500 right now. Not easy for me. So I'm probably somewhere in that range. But anyways, so I apologize if that's a little deceptive. It's not intended to be, but I just don't really play too much online chess. I don't know. I like the in-person stuff. I like the personal chess, but I should probably play a little bit more online. I probably have fun with it. Anyways, I've been playing chess for about maybe 2.5 years at this point. I've learned several things, and I have played online chess. Don't get me wrong, and I've messed up pretty badly, and there's learning experiences, and that's kind of what chess is. You learn. It's a good learning experience. But I wanted to go over this game that I played with this individual whose name is Weird Short Girl. Weird Short Girl. I just want you to know this is a good game. Again, I want to show you where things that and as I go over this, I want to go over some of my own mistakes where I kind of goofed up, and and where you may have goofed up in order to help us just become better chess players. And I'm gonna go through some other games here that I got set up to show one of the big things that was one of the biggest mistakes that Weird Short Girl made in this game, and to help correct them, to do better, so that we don't make those mistakes again. So she opens with standard King's Pawn opening. I meet the same thing, and again, then now we have the knight here attacking this standard opening. Again, that's what I was thinking. Hey, she might know a few things. Who knows? I responded with this. I'm expecting bishop right here to do the Ruy Lopez opening, and this, that's go here, you castle, and then move the bishop back right here, here, standard opening stuff, and then go from there. I would eventually castle here. That's the idea of the Ruy Lopez, the Murphy defense variation. I've been using that constantly, I've been using it so much in a lot of my chess, just to make sure I got it in my head. I'm a hard-headed person sometimes. It's kind of hard for me to remember things. So I just played it nonstop for a while until I got it in my head. That's what I was expecting. But what we had was this. I've seen that happen a couple times. There was a guy I played with, a coworker of mine I played chess with. He did this a couple times, and I was like, why does he do that? I'm trying to figure out what is the purpose of this. And ultimately, as the dude here says, it's just to develop a bishop. The bishop's got a nice diagonal here, so okay, that's great. That's fine. I'm just gonna kind of keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not familiar with that, so I was like, okay, what do I do here? I did this, and you know what? This is one of the lessons for me. In the long run, I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore because of what ends up happening here in this game. This is where things start to go bad for white. And I'm just going to, the reason why here, and it's pretty, what I want to do here, by the way, in this review, I don't want to do any kind of like heavy theory stuff because I'm just not that kind of a player. Trust me, look, I pulled off a nice sacrifice to win this game. You're going to see at the very end. That was not something I was planning 9, 10 moves ahead. Trust me, I was not theorizing. When I play chess, what I've learned is a lot of it is just about instinct and just looking at patterns and asking yourself, would this piece be more active on this square? Would it be more active on that square? If I put this piece there, what would be the best response for my opponents afterwards. You really don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be a Magnus Carlsen. You don't need to be thinking. And even Magnus himself, when I watch Magnus's games, I can tell he's not even always looking 10, 11 moves ahead. I don't think anybody can really do that consistently. That's just kind of inhuman stuff. And if you see somebody doing that in a chess game, they're probably cheating. So I wasn't doing any of that stuff. A lot of times I'm not even looking more than 2 moves ahead. Now there are points in this game where I did look a little bit further ahead. That was because I had enough time to do that. I'll show you where I was doing that. The checkmate line that I do in this game, you're gonna see. I did plan that. But anyways, all that to basically say, we're not going into heavy theory here. None of that stuff. I'm not going to go into, well, this is a bad move because boom, 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 anything like that. So let me show you, for example, the game, is going to go for it. Sometimes it doesn't do it here, but sometimes it will go for, this long line, why this was not a good move. And I'm like, come on, I'm not going to find that, So we're not going to do that here. We're not going to do any of that stuff here. It's just beginner level kind of stuff. When I talk about this queen move being not a good move, the reason, and I saw that. When I saw that, I was like, what is she doing? Like, I'm assuming this is a girl because it says weird short girl. So I'm assuming I was playing against a girl. But I'm thinking, like, what is this? Why do that? Here, I guess you can attack my bishop, but if you attack my bishop, I'm just gonna defend the bishop. So what's the point of that? You can't go here, obviously. You're not going there. You're not going there. You're also not going to go there. You're not going to go there. You're not going to go there. So I'm thinking to myself, the only interesting move here would be to eventually go here. Maybe to eventually push the pawn up to create some space, but why did you need to move your queen there to do that? You didn't need to do that. To me, and I think to the game sees this, it's kind of a wasted move. It's just wasting time right there. And I don't say that, again, I'm not trying to say that to be mean, but also, by the way, here's something you got to think about. If this knight and this pawn wasn't here, you'd lose your queen immediately. Why? Because then I was thinking, hey, I could go bishop here and pin that queen to the king, and that queen is gone immediately because she can't move. If she takes the bishop, I just take it with the knight. And then on my next move, I'm going to go for a fork. And then now you lose a rook. So that's the only reason I didn't do this, because I knew she's just going to do that, or she's going to do that. And so that's going to really not do anything for me. So that's why I did not move my bishop right there. But I was looking at that. I was paying attention to that. I was going, hey, this is a possibility right here. If she makes one wrong move, if she does something like this, and then goes like knight right here, and then your queen's gone. But that was if she did that. So I was just seeing if she was going to make some kind of mistake like that. She didn't end up doing that. So, anyways, it does actually work out for her in the end. She does a kind of a nice move. Again, I don't know if she did it on purpose. I'm leaning towards maybe it was an accident, but. So I just went, all right, well, I'm just going to just develop. Let's just develop. And that's one of the important things in chess. In chess, when you're playing chess, I see this a lot when I watch new beginner players. One of the things I've noticed when I watch beginner players play chess, I learn a lot from watching newbies in chess, believe it or not. I think everybody can. But one of the things I learned, I've realized that almost all of them do. When I say almost all of them, like I've watched a lot of games, and 2 of the games I'm going to go through in this review here, they're just like the tipping point. I've watched so many of these games. What I've noticed is there is such a lack of understanding or perception of positional chess. What do I mean by that? What I mean by positional chess is in the early start of the game, you are trying to set up positions. So if I go here, let me just again the opening I know most is the Roy Lopez. We're just going to go to analysis. The Roy Lopez is this. We got this right here. The bishop's threatening the knight. Threatens to trade off the knight so that he can take the pawn. Retreats the bishop right here. What came next? I've been playing this so much for the black side that I forget what comes next. I think next is yeah, it's black's turn. Black then attacks right here. White castles, prepares this, and so then black goes here, bishop's here. Black can then do a couple of different things. Black can go here, prepare to castle like that. Let's say white does this and black castles, and you notice no pieces have been taken yet. Everybody's still on the board. There's options here for this bishop to go here. You can prepare for this. I wouldn't do that just yet because then you take and you gotta move the knight. But or, maybe. But then there's you can come out with knight right here. I don't think it's a good idea because you probably want to do this. It's probably a little bit better. So you could do this to prepare for this. Let's say bishop here, whatever. I'm just and then we finally start going here, and then maybe there. But you see how all the pieces they're coming together on. Oops. They're coming together on the board. I'm a very handsy person. I use my hands a lot, and I just knocked over a lamp, a small lamp, but. But see all the pieces right now, how they're all just they're all on the board. They're all, well, I mean, white's a little bit better, but white can, I don't know what's a move for black. Black can probably respond right there. He can do that if he wants to. There's this, whatever. I'm just goofing around right now. But the point is, all of what we're doing right now is we're creating positions. That's what the opening is all about. It's making it's setting up a position. And that takes patience to do stuff like that. To do something like that, you got to be patient. And a lot of new players are not very patient. They just want to steamroll their opponent immediately. And it's very important when you're playing chess. It's part of the art of chess is patience. And so that's what I was doing here. I'm just like, well, I don't see any big opening right now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to develop. If you don't see anything, any big opening, big opportunity just yet, just develop a piece. Just develop a piece. Right now, you can't develop this bishop because it's blocked by the queen. You could eventually go here so that then you can develop the bishop and look down at that line. Okay, that's an option right there. But right now, bishops are kind of blocked in. You can move the knight out if you want to. That's probably a good move. What we have here is this, and I saw that I was like, huh. But then I realized something when I saw this move. I was like, wait a minute, dang it, because I'm thinking to myself, I'll just take back. But I realized then there's this, and I get forked. Whoops. I get forked right here. Both pieces get forked. Now, this is always a good idea when you can use this pawn move to fork two minor pieces while the pawn is protected by another piece. It's generally a good idea because it almost guarantees someone's gonna lose a piece. You're either gonna lose a knight or a bishop. So when I saw that, I was like, man, I'm thinking to myself, well, I could maybe go here, maybe. But then I started thinking, then it's just like that's not gonna work for me, And then I'm just gonna have to move the knight again, and that's just not a good move. So I just went, the best move for me. Sometimes the best move is a move you don't want to do, but it's the best option for you in order to equalize. I was like, all right, this is the best option for me to equalize. I got to take that with the bishop. Now the game doesn't like that, but I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do this because then I lose this, and now the knight's coming next. I could eventually go here if I wanted to. I could take that, sure, but that's just not something. I mean, that's probably a good idea, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That was probably a good move. But I didn't see that. And I just went, all right, I'm just going to have to give up my bishop, protect the knight right here. The game wants me to go here and just attack the queen, which is what I eventually do. All right, so I defended the knight first. Okay, here's where I'm losing, and I kind of knew this. I was like, all right, I'm not in a good situation right now. However, here's what I know. Again, going back to early queen attacks, getting the queen out too early. I still got plenty of pieces on the board to where that queen is not a huge issue for me. I can deal with that. So she makes her next move, which I kind of figured she was going to make. She was just going to attack my knight. See, the game's like, what's going on here? What she's doing is something that's not really. It's not a good tactic. It does get you two pawns in the center. That's fine and all. That's usually a fine idea. But you're not going to win that knight. I'm just going to move that knight. I'm going to move and just attack the queen. Um, and but what's behind this? Why do this? It's just throwing pieces forward. That's just kind of all you're doing. You're throwing pieces forward. There's a kind of a fear, I think, with a lot of new players that I gotta just keep the pressure on because if I don't, I'm going to be losing, and that's not really always the case. Again, go back here to this knight move that I made. I didn't make that knight move because I was planning some moves 10, 15 moves ahead. I looked at the board. I went, do I have something here? Not really. Does she have something here? Not really. So I'm just going to go just develop. All right, we're fine. Just develop. Just develop a piece. Get him out there. Get him out there somewhere, whatever. So just do that. And so what I do is I attack the queen. Queen has to move. What do I do next? I attack the queen. Queen has to move. And all of this, notice what's happening here. What's happening here? Why am I winning the game? The reason why I'm winning the game is you got 3 pieces here as white. I got these. All of these pieces are out here. I may not be advancing very far, but right now I have the most development. So I'm winning the game simply on that ground alone. Now I'm going to have more options. I got more control of the center. It may not seem like it at first, but that's kind of where the anticipation, that's where the planning stuff starts coming in. I thought here, okay, what's my next move? I go here. I could do that, I guess. Takes. Okay, that's not a bad move. That's fine. I'm not doing this because it just hangs a knight. Well, actually, yeah, it hangs a knight. Can't take that pawn because that just hangs a knight. So the best move here, if anything, would be like d5. Let's see, the game wants me, and I thought about this. I was like, I might have to do this because I figured she's going to do this eventually. And sure enough, she eventually does. I was ready for that. But I thought, I'm going to castle first. Let's just castle first. And, as I thought, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not anything like that. I was like, she's probably going to go, when I made this move right here to castle, I was like, she's probably going to attack my bishop. And sure enough, she does. I went, all right, well, I'm going to put my bishop there. I don't want to do this because the bishop's too passive. You're just putting it back in a starting square. Like, why do that? So let's just go right here. That's fine. So then she continues. Look what's happening here. Look at this. This is not a good thing. Don't do this. Okay. She's just throwing 2 pieces forward. That's all she's thinking about. Look at all her pieces that are sitting back here, not doing anything. They're not in the game. Your king's wide out in the open. That's not good. You don't want this. And your queen is very passive right here. She's just not doing anything right here. This is not a good idea. Don't do this. Now you've just pretty much lost control of the center of the board. What control you had, you've completely lost it. Now next, I'm just going to go after that pawn, and there you go. I decided I had a couple options here. I could have taken with the pawn right here. The reason why I did not take this with the pawn is because I eventually wanted to move my rook out right here and eventually threaten something right here, some kind of discovered attack. Put some pressure right there. And if I had a pawn right here, because the pawns can only move forward, they can never go sideways. The only time they can go diagonal is when they're taking a piece. And like, am I taking any pieces with that pawn anytime soon? No. There's nothing there for the pawn to take. So I took with the knight because I could eventually move that knight out of the way if I needed to. I can go right there. That's not a good idea. But I could go like right here and do a discovered attack, which is kind of what I was looking at here. But you'll notice here also with this move, there's 2 things that happen with this knight move. A, it takes a pawn for free. And B, it's a discovered attack on the queen. So she's forced to move her queen yet again and cannot develop more pieces. And so I'm just like, well, I'm just going to keep developing right here. And I go ahead and do what I was planning to do. Rook out right here. I was planning here to go discover attack. So like, let's say she does something like, I don't know, she decides, you know what, maybe I should develop. Well, that's not going to be good because now you lose a queen. You're checked. You can't take that because you're in check from this. So you have to move your king out right there and then you lose a queen. So that's kind of the idea that I was going for. I think she saw it. And she plays a move that is actually not bad. It's actually the best move according to the engine is bishop right here. Now, there's a reason. There's not just one reason why the game says this is the best move. There's usually multiple reasons. And in this case, there's 2 reasons why this is the best move. A, it prevents the discovered attack, so this is no longer an option. That's now a blunder. But the other reason why is because you can eventually castle. And that's what you need to do next as white. That's what the game wants you to do. It says that's the top move, castle. Now you need to castle because now that I couldn't do the discovered attack, my next best option, which I was thinking anyway, I was like, look, so my mindset was, all right, I'm going to move my rook right here, threaten a discovered attack. If she sees that, I'm just going to take the pawn. So that was my option. I was like, all right, well, just take the pawn. Now I'm staring at this pawn, which is just totally sitting there, has no defenders whatsoever. Excuse me. All right, so right here, I just take that. Now you need to castle. I thought this. I was like, she's going to castle. She's probably going to castle, and when she castles, this rook's going to be in position to attack my bishop, in which case I'll just take that. All right, that's fine. But she didn't castle. She just moved the rook. I was like, what? Why would you do that? Like, that's not a good move. That's not a good move at all. And I'm not trying to be mean, but that don't do that. This is not the best move. The best move for white right now is to castle. You need to castle, and castling accomplishes the same thing. You still staring right at that, threatening that. I'm still going to take that, but you're staring right at that. Now, when I take this, you can go ahead and do something like, I don't know, you can go here with the bishop, and then eventually get this knight out, and then you connect your rooks. And now this game's going to be a little bit harder for me. It's going to be a little bit harder, but that's, this, it's a one mover. It does only one thing, and it just attacks this. It also gets your king more stuck in this corner right here. And the right to castle is now gone on that side. Eventually, if you were to do, if you were to go knight here or bishop right there, whatever, anything. And then you can castle on the queen side. Well, you can't do it right now because you got to get the bishop out of the way. But I take that. All right, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take that free pawn. Then she started sides, and here's where I know that we're getting tunnel vision on certain areas of the board. Because when my bishop moves right here, her eyes are looking towards that. And then she looks over and goes, oh, wait, I got pieces over here. Oh, that's right. See, that's not how you want to play chess. When you're playing chess, you got to be seeing everything. You got to be looking at everything on the board. So right now, white, weird short girl, is, let's just say white. White is struggling to figure out what to do next because, well, you can't just attack that because it's protected by these two pieces. You can't just attack this because it's protected by these pieces right here. This bishop, what do you attack that bishop with? I don't know. Not much. You can go here, but I can just go ahead and retreat the bishop if I wanted to. I can, well, I don't want to go there, but I can go maybe right here. I could also just trade off if I wanted to. I could do that. But the point is, I've just got so much better structure. I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm just a great chess player. I'm not trying to say that at all. I have better structure right now because I am coordinating my pieces. I'm putting my pieces all together. I'm not just throwing one piece, and when that piece gets knocked out, just throw another piece, and there you go. All right, so this is where I saw this line right here. I was like, oh, you know what? First I was like, I could check right here. Can't take that. I was thinking maybe I could just go trade the knight for a bishop. But I saw something better. I went, oh, wait a minute. The only legal move for the king here is d2. And when I go d2, there's this. Discovered attack, check, there goes your queen. And now this comes at the cost of one of two pieces right here, unfortunately. And I did not like that. But, hey, I win a queen for free. Well, not for free, but I win a queen while saving my queen. And I'm going to lose a knight. Okay, that's fine. But I had to save this knight because she's got just too many pieces staring right here at this for me to. I just didn't want to lose that much, so I went knight right here, and that turned out to be a good move. Again, I was not doing any kind of pre-planning here, but this turned out to be a good move. What did she do? She's, threatened by my queen right here. Even though my queen's really passive right here, she's not doing a whole lot right here. So my queen's not a big threat, but she just, there's just this big fear of the enemy's queen. And I guess right now, if you're white, yeah, you maybe should be a little bit afraid because you got more queen left, and there you go. So I just went right here. I'm thinking to myself, so right here at this point in the game, I'm not planning much right now. I don't have a whole lot of plans. I'm thinking about ideas. I got ideas in my head. I'm like, well, I could go queen right here if I wanted to. What's the best move, right? By the way, it says this is the best move. It says this, I guess, but I just thought, there's this, there's check, I guess. And then king can go right there, and it's just the game's harder for me to win. So I just thought this was a more active square for my queen. I'm threatening right here. And she does the best move. Well, I thought it was the best move anyway. What is the best move? Yeah, I guess that's an idea too. Okay, that's a good move. That'd probably be the better move. So that's a good move. Okay, but she does this, which is what I thought she was gonna do. See, I'm still a brand new, kind of a fairly new player, so that's what I thought that was a good move. So, and she did the same thing. Now, when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Here's the checkmate. Oh, give up the rook. So when the knight takes, we go for checkmate right there, and that's exactly what she did. And there goes checkmate. So right here you see there's a certain level of knowing a little bit ahead of time. But here, right now, so my thing is I'm looking at checkmate right on that square. In order for me to get checkmate, what needs to happen before I do that? Well, I got to get rid of the bishop. And this is a situation in which sometimes giving up a piece like even a rook to a knight is winning the game. And that's part of the important aspect of playing chess. All right, so I spent way too much time on that. I didn't want to go into all of that as much as I can. These are a couple of games I thought would be kind of good for if my opponent here, weird short girl, watches this. I'm not trying to do this. I want to help people get better at this. Get better at chess. So here's something I played. I didn't play. I watched this game. Between two people, they're average, probably the same level, 400-ish areas. This is not really a good move. One of the basic rules of openings: move your pieces to a place where you only have to move them once. That way, you're not wasting time moving the same piece over and over and over again. Instead, you're just developing pieces. So this is not a good move. But black doesn't respond with much of a better move either. So. And white just kind of solidifies. Now this is where everything goes wrong for black. Here's another early queen attack. Black's looking at this. Check. All right, so here's the issue with this. The issue with this is, let's just say, yeah, you get the check, which is I think black does here, by the way. So there's the check. What next? What's your plan? Because there's just this. So what does that accomplish? Well, okay, now you need to get your queen out of there because your queen is by herself, and there's all these. There's this. Oh, now I gotta, there you go, and then I don't know. I mean, there is this, but then you can just go there, and just constantly harass the queen. So let's just say. We just did this. Whoops. Oh no, I can't go here. Wait, no, I guess you can. Yeah, you can go there, but you can't go there eventually. So let's just say we go here. And then we have this right here. Well, okay, so this is losing, that's losing, that's losing, and that's losing. And that's losing. And that's losing. So basically, there goes your queen. Your queen's done for. All right, so that's one of the issues here. Now, that doesn't happen exactly. This happens instead. We have this. You see that bar just swinging and swinging and swinging. There's this. And now black realizes I just screwed the pooch. Now my queen is done for. I can't go here. Can't go there. There's no this. There's none of this. None of this. That's losing too. Now, black does the best thing you can do in a situation like this, which is take a big old piece like a rook. Okay, fine. You still lose your queen, though. I mean, hey, look, that was the best move in all things considered. All right, excellent. Again, all things considered. But you see what happened right there? Early queen attack. Here's the thing. The queen is worth 9 points, okay? That makes her the most powerful piece on the board. Also makes her the most vulnerable piece, ironically, in a sense, your most valuable piece, and the one that aside from the king, needs most protection. And so, but she's worth 9 points. But however, with all of these pieces combined, they're worth much more than your queen. And when your opponent still has all of their pieces on the board, your queen is not going to be able to withstand all of them. Just not going to happen unless your opponent is just that dumb and blunders every single piece and loses them all to the queen. I've seen that happen before. I've seen a queen by herself completely wreak havoc on the board because the opponent just wasn't making smart decisions and just got so tunnel vision, end up losing all the pieces. But that's what happens right here. Early queen attack, just going, you know what, I'm just going to go for my queen. My queen just solves all my problems, and there you go. So, and actually she doesn't. All right, so here's the next one. Early queen attack that ends up losing. Here we go. Here's the queen. What in the world is she doing out there? I have no idea. The game says, hey, that's a pretty good move, not a bad move. I'm like, what? Why is that a good move? That's not a good move at all. All right, so white just like, okay, whatever. There's nothing really there, so I'm just going to keep going. Okay, there goes black, just blunders a pawn. That's fine. Well, not really a blunder, but just throws a pawn for some reason. This is not a good move from white because this pawn is weak and no longer defended, so the queen can come down. However, white can just do this, which is what eventually happens. So here we have this, and that's what white does. Moves the knight out of the way. So now this queen's in a lot of trouble right now because all of these squares, except for that one, but all of these squares, that one right there, they are under control. So really the only pieces you can attack here are these two. So you're in a lot of danger right here as this queen. Get that queen out of there, man. Just get her out of there. Just do something to get her out. See, that's just what you need to do. And right here, I think, now, let's see, she can still go here. Takes, but see, that's what you need to do. You need to get your queen out of there. So there's this. Okay, whatever. But now, and now she's gone. So now there's nothing you can do. You can't go here. This is losing. That's losing. That's losing. That's losing. That's losing. That's losing. This is losing. This is losing. That's losing. That's losing. That's losing. That's losing. And so is that. And that's losing too, by the way. So your queen's gone. She's done. She's done for. She's out of there. So again, black goes, black here, actually. Just, again, if you're going to lose a queen and there's no choice, you might as well try to take the biggest chunk as you possibly can out of your opponent. And black doesn't do that. Just goes, maybe he doesn't see it. I'm just going to go ahead and take a knight. Really? No. So there you go. You lose your queen. The reason why this happens, I see this happen all the time. The reason why this happens, and this is the lesson for us, early queen attacks. Again, go back to what I was talking about earlier. A lot of these early players, these new beginners, they don't understand positional chess. The importance of getting some kind of a position in your chess game so that you're set up. Because they just don't have any patience. I'm trying to win the game fast. That's why you have that stupid wayward queen attack. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it happen. Oh my gosh. And then watching when white does the wayward queen attack and then just getting obliterated and just losing badly because it's a stupid move. The wayward queen attack is an overrated, stupid idea. It's all the wayward queen attack is. It's just some guy goes on YouTube, hey, I'm going to start playing chess. And then he goes on YouTube and finds and looks up the fastest way to checkmate your opponent and finds the wayward queen attack. It's the most popular one. Now, the wayward queen attack, it works against people who don't know anything about chess. And I often use it whenever I'm kind of like talking to young folks at my church who are kind of trying to play chess, kind of introducing them. I will do the wayward queen attack deliberately, but it's because I'm trying to see how far ahead they're thinking in their chess game. That's the only reason I'll do it. It's a test. But that's the only reason. It's pretty much the only thing it's good for. But that's what a lot of people do. They want to go for a quick checkmate. They want to win super fast and just go, man, I just owned that guy. I obliterated him in a few moves. I'm so smart. No, you're not. It doesn't actually show how smart you are. You're not actually being very smart. Well, all you've done really more than anything is just show how much of a dunce your opponent is. But just because you show somebody else is a dunce doesn't make you smart. It's, what's more impressive? Winning a game against some 400 level person who doesn't know anything about the wayward queen attack and gets mated instantly? Or winning a game against Magnus Carlsen? Which one shows you more smart? Or Hikaru? Which one shows you're more smart? Probably the latter, not this former, not the former. You're not smart, but that's what these guys do. They do early queen attacks because they just think the queen's going to solve all their problems. If I just put pressure with my queen, well then I'm gonna win the game. No, that almost never works. I never see that work at all. And you see White here just do silly things too. White just goes, I'm just check. What did that do other than just lose a knight? Check, whatever. And now you just blundered the bishop. Look at all these one movers right here. Well, and this game turns into, for a while, kind of a cat and mouse, which is what a lot of these games turn into. And what I was kind of afraid of, that my game with weird short girl, her name, not mine. That's what I was afraid it was going to turn into as well. And right here, White didn't even need to take that. White could have just gone here and threatened mate. Right? No, actually, yeah, threatened. No, yeah, never mind. Yeah, it's probably a nice move. Okay, but yeah. So what was I gonna say? But yeah, so these are lessons for us to learn here about playing chess. It's about position, and get yourself a position first. Don't immediately look for the knockout blow. If we were to look at this in a boxing situation, in a boxing match, if you see in boxing, they look for the knockout blow immediately. Some guys do this, but they end up just tiring themselves out and they lose. So don't do that. Don't look for the knockout blow immediately. Just be patient, set up your position, and wait for your opponent to make a mistake. Now, it's not always the case. You don't always have to be super patient, but you don't want to be rushing things. Don't rush into victory. Take your time. Ask yourself when you're making these moves, if I put this piece here, is that piece going to be, by itself and therefore at risk? And maybe it is, but if it is, is it immediately going to be threatened? Like if I go knight right here and she goes right here, well, then I'm going to have to move the knights, right? But this is kind of the basic stuff. But I've gone too long here, way too long. So I hope we learned some lessons here with this, kind of chess game. Again, just learning some of these lessons. Try it, please. Don't do early queen attacks. The best thing you can do for yourself to get better at chess is to just set up a position, get your pieces into the game. If I've played, again, talking about a coworker of mine, he only beat me one time. That's because I missed a move. I took a risk and I screwed up, and I've resigned because I was like, no, it's lost. I can't win this. But that was a resigning situation. But out of maybe the 5 times we played, no, I think we played 6 times. He only beat me once. I beat him every single other time. The reason why is because he was just trying to steamroll over me, and I'm just like, just be patient. He's eventually gonna run out of steam. He's gonna find out, oh crud, I'm in a bad situation here, and I'm just surviving the blows. And after I survive the blows, and he realizes, crud, I just lost all these pieces. Not only have I lost all these pieces. He's in a better position than me. Because again, as you look back here, you see what I did here. Going back all the way to here, I'm just going to start developing pieces and castle. And I'm just in a better situation here. A much better situation. So there's no big secret to it, guys. It's not a genius thing. It's just being patient and waiting for the opportunities to come. And there you go. So, all right. Just some cool lessons there. Take it for what it is, and play some chess and have fun.